Since 2006, human rights through education has inspired countless numbers of students to take action against social injustice brought to light at their annual conference, and this year is no exception.
We're a grassroots organization on campus, and we seek to foster some discussion and obviously a conference about human rights and education on campus about issues that are happening domestically and abroad. We have meetings every week, and we also do a lot of collaborations with other organizations, and then our big yearly event is this conference.
Every year we choose a theme and we just decide what's really interesting to us, and I think a lot of us started reading The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander, and just the statistics about the criminal justice system in the United States it's abhorrent. It's really terrible because it impacts minorities, especially African Americans, way more than it does other populations. And the over-incarceration that we have is not only irresponsible because of moral reasons, it's irresponsible because it's economically they're privatizing prisons, so it's like become this industry, and it's also really expensive the way we do it. So there's just so many things wrong with it. So I think we wanted to explore it further, but also look at justice around the world.
This conference is meant to be a springboard for discussion for the year. I know last year some of our members took a lot from the conference and actually applied it to their own lives and sought out internships or other opportunities with some of the organizations who came to our conference. And this year we don't have as much of an organization representation as much as individual speakers, but I think we're just trying to spark some passion within people and give them some idea of what they want to change in the world.
On Thursday night we started with a screening of The Invisible War, which is about sexual assault within the U.S. military. And then Friday we started with Paul Butler, who talked about the hip-hop theory of justice. And then we had a U of M professor panel that was 3 U of M professors who do work inside prisons and also bring students into prisons. And then we had student groups have a student showcase to show us what work they do surrounding either justice or criminal justice.
Shane Bauer is one of our big keynote speakers, and he was one of the hikers who was detained in Iran in 2009, and since his detention and his release, it was a 29-month process, so he came back really fired up and ready to examine the system of prison and specifically solitary confinement in the United States.
7 months after my release, I was on my way to Pelican Bay State Prison, which is one of the oldest prisons in the United States, built to house people in long-term solitary confinement. My mind was immediately back, to my own solitary confinement. The thing is, when I thought of myself in my cell, I was isolated and depressed, but psychologically, I felt mostly normal. I was just upset about being in prison. All I could say to him at that moment was, I had a window. Sometimes it would rain and I would let the rain wash over my face. But in Pelican Bay, there are no windows. There are no windows in the cells. There's no natural light, and the cell at 7 by 11 feet was smaller than any cell I had ever inhabited in Iran. Every detail makes a difference. The difference between having a book and not having a book, for me, was almost as great as the difference between being free and not being free.
If you missed the conference but would still like more information on how to get involved with human rights through education, check out their website at www.hrte.org. For Wolf TV in Ann Arbor, this is Alexis Waringa.